With Sparking Zero having so many reveals right now with all the different YouTubers that were covering it, we've seen so many super attacks and so many characters. This also includes Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. That seems to be a more so of a power-up in the game, similar to Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken versus its own transformation. People are wondering, is the manga or are the manga characters going to come to the game? And this is something that's not really too simple to answer, because if you look at Xenoverse 2, and this game has been out since like what, 2016, it's like 8 years now, and in this entire time they haven't really touched anything to do with the manga at all, like nothing whatsoever. And that is something that is very interesting, and I think that with everybody wanting Dragon Ball Super to return, it'd be the perfect time to incorporate some manga things in the game. And when I say some things, I mean, don't give us the villains, because that might make people think that they're like video game original villains like Towa and Mira, which then eventually went into heroes, or I don't know if it was the other way around, something like that. But you don't want to do that. However, for extremely hype transformations like Ultra Ego Vegeta, I think this would be the perfect game to introduce this character and really hype up, you know, the return of Super, or just to have the general audience know. Because when it comes to this, it's very complicated, right? Like, if you look at all the different characters that exist within the universe right now, like Granolah, which we got done with, that was a really good arc, right? Like, people would be really confused if this guy showed up. Same thing with Moro, people would be like pretty confused seeing this guy show up. Although I can't lie to you, having all these transformations would be incredible, and Moro is just like a crazy fun villain, but we're just not there yet when it comes to the villains. However, I feel like Ultra Ego Vegeta can easily fit into the game. Now, we've got a Twitter thread here from Jared, who has some information in regards to how Dragon Ball Super manga content could work for video games and some misconceptions. And then I'm also going to have a thread that we're going to go through by Vebills over here as well. So let's go through this right now. So just going to say this, I'm not adding anyone, but I literally know someone who is a part of the Dragon Ball Heroes staff, and they have confirmed to me that 1. They can use the Dragon Ball Super manga content, including original characters and forms. 2. They don't use them because they don't want to confuse the average Dragon Ball Super fan, and as you know, Dragon Ball fans don't read. No, that's a funny joke, but you know what I mean. Most Dragon Ball Super fans have only seen the anime, and then even in Japan, the Dragon Ball Super manga is not very popular, which is really surprising to me that all this stuff is really popular over here in the West versus over there in Japan. You think with how popular Goku is and Dragon Ball in general, that, you know, it would be even more so crazy over in Japan, but there's always a lot of competition within, you know, the manga sphere and all that, so that makes sense. So most people don't know Granolah, Moro, Meerus, etc. So I'm not going to believe the person who actually works on a modern he said, so I'm going to believe the person who actually works in a modern Dragon Ball game and not some random internet rumor that spread like a wildfire for some reason. They can use Dragon Ball Super manga content, it's not a rights issue thing, which we all assumed that would be the case because they haven't done it. Like, even right now in Xenoverse 2, they've got like this super or ultra super villain or something. Like, they gave this form to Vegeta where he almost looks like Ultra Ego, but it's not. Why go through all these crazy hoops and not just put Ultra Ego Vegeta in there, right? Like, they even gave like Rose this ultra super villain thing where it's like a shard and it powers him up even more. It's crazy, man. And I'm not saying that because I hate it. I actually really think this whole like original concept stuff is pretty damn cool, but it's like, just give it a chance, right? And then if you don't believe this even further, if you still think it's a rights issue, you know, they've made like figures for the Dragon Ball Super manga content. As you can see, like all these things here, like Roshi fighting Jiren, that was a manga thing. All these poses was the manga thing as well. I mean, like, you know, make this make sense as it says here, right? And then, you know, there's quite a few other things as well that I do want to cover when it comes to this, because we're going to go here, which is like probably the final nail in the coffin on the fact that it is possible for manga characters to show up in Sparking Zero, but they probably just are genuinely scared of using them. Maybe we could give them some feedback, and by giving them feedback, if you want to message them, if you want to message, you know, Bandai Namco or whoever, right, like message them respectfully and politely. Don't go in there keyboard blazing, right, like type it in all this crazy stuff. Be polite and be respectful, right, like be concise. Don't be rude or whatever, otherwise like we're just gonna all look bad. Okay, so I would like to remind you that it is possible for manga characters to appear in games produced by Bandai. Gine appeared in 3 games before finally being animated in Dragon Ball Super Broly, and until today Kariza has not been featured in any animation. The point is, Shueisha needs to approve of this, right? So we need Shueisha, or Shueisha, however you say it, to approve of manga content being used in the games. And I think it would be pretty easy to get that, because, you know, it's literally cross promotion. Oh, you want to know about Ultra Ego Vegeta that just appeared in Sparking Zero? Well, there's no anime. Go read the manga. Go figure out how Vegeta gets that form. Oh, cool. Look, now there's this Granolah guy. What's his origin, right? Like, there's so many cool things that they could do here that would be quite interesting. And, you know, you don't have to pull everything out of the manga. Literally, probably the only thing I want from the manga right now is Ultra Ego Vegeta, which would just be so incredible to have, right? Like, I'm pretty sure like that secret character that we're gonna get is probably gonna be like Beast Gohan or something else, because we've got superhero DLC and we've got Daima, and Daima's getting animated, so it makes sense that that's getting some promotion. But there's got to be Super coming back at some point, guys, surely, right? Like, this is, I don't even know, it's been so many years since Super ended now. It still feels like it's yesterday, but it's been a while now. Like, we've gotten 2 movies since then. We've got Dragon Ball Super Broly, and then we also got this, you know, superhero as well. So there's that, and they actually covered superhero in the manga recently, and, you know, Akira Toriyama passed away, so now the manga's on break, and, you know, that I'm still so sad about that. So, oh man, rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. I don't want to talk about that too much because I'm going to get really sad, but back to the topic here. So I don't know who created the stupid rule the manga characters can't appear in game. Of course they can. The real issue is commercial interest, and at the end of the day, that is exactly what the issue really is. This content should be saved as hype for an animation, not a game. If there's an animation, then there will be more marketing, right? So that's why we always see something in animation first, and then it shows up in game, versus it being the other way around. Like, just now in Dokkan Battle, we're finally getting Cell Max as an actual character, you know, and, you know, we already went through the Jared thing, like that post there, but let's look at this bit here in more detail. So here we see a few things that appeared in Super Dragon Ball Heroes from the manga, which means there was approval from Shueisha. So in God Mission 7, Meerus and Champa fight from the manga is 1-to-1 recreated in a super unit / cutscene in game. They've since added many super attacks in the manga, like Goku's Hakai versus Zamasu, Vegeta Blue's Galactic Spirit Sword versus Zamasu, Vegeta's Gamma Burst Flash, which, keep in mind, is in Sparking Zero. They did add the manga moves, so it's even more like they could probably maybe add Ultra Ego, right? Like, you know, we've got the whip attack that, you know, Goku Black uses, that's going to be in the game. All the God super attacks are also from the Dragon Ball Super manga. The Tournament Power arc in Super Dragon Ball Heroes was mainly based on the manga, and even had the God preliminary match from it. Jiren didn't have super full power, which was the shirtless only full power. Toppo didn't get his God form. Kale never got a controlled version of her Berserker form. Ribria never used her Giant form, and Kefla only uses Super Saiyan, not Super Saiyan 2. This Ultra Mission 6 added Skirtless Hit from Dragon Ball Super manga. They added Trunks vs. Babidi and Dabura, which, if you know, that's like the manga exclusive stuff. Most recently, they added Infinite Merge Zamasu from the Dragon Ball Super manga, so there's a good bit of manga stuff in the arcade story. Also, Perfect Super Saiyan Blue Goku was a promo for the Dragon Ball Super manga. That was a promo card, though his in-game model and super attacks aren't different. There's also Super Saiyan God Vegeta from the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, and then normal Vegeta, and then there's also Adult Gohan and the Piccolo Gi. So there's a lot of different things that they did add already and approved in the Super Dragon Ball Heroes game, right? So, you know, there's definitely some sort of thing that they could possibly do and add some characters. I'm not saying add everything from here in obviously Sparking Zero. It would confuse people, that is for sure, especially if you add like skirt. People go, what the hell is this, right? You know, where's his skirt, right? Or like little things that were changed in, you know, the manga versus the anime. However, like Ultra Ego Vegeta is a completely new character and would drive hype for the manga, and then the manga would then in turn eventually be adapted into an anime, kind of feeding into this loop, and then people will see the anime and then probably want more Sparking Zero. But Sparking Zero is going to be a generational anime game, right? Like, I think right now, with how good this looks, this will probably be the best anime game of all time. And I gotta say, the bar for anime games has been pretty low. If you saw Jujutsu Kaisen, like, that game is god-awful. Like, what were they thinking? You take such a popular, like, franchise and you just put out, like, a trash game. Like, are you kidding me, man? So, you know, this is going to be one of the best anime games of all time, and they'll probably just add a ton of DLC for it. So, even if Ultra Ego Vegeta isn't there now, probably down the road, whenever Dragon Ball Super gets animated, like the continuation, and we do the whole Moro arc and then Granolah and whatever, then we'll probably get Ultra Ego and all of those characters like Moro, Granolah, Meerus, all of them characters, which would be really hype. So let me know what you think as well in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, drop a like and subscribe. Appreciate the support. See you in the next one. Peace.